Hello, I'm Keel. This is Manny. Today we are going to work on these pothos propagations from about a month or so ago. Well, maybe a little bit longer actually. Um, some of them they need to be trimmed up, but they also need to be thickened up. When I um, propagated them, I didn't cut them down as much as I should have, so the pots look pretty sparse. Um, if you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. So what I'm going to do is just cut these pothos. Again, you can see they're pretty sparse. So there are some trimmings that didn't make it. That's kind of common. You know, they don't all make it, but the majority of a pothos will. That's the good thing about them. So, for instance, this one here, see how long this is? I'm going to cut this guy back probably, I mean, this was a pretty substantial stem, and you can see that it has aerial roots starting on it. Well, if you put these in the ground and this node, they're going to take off like crazy. So I'm going to cut here and here and take this leaf off. Well, here, let's just show you. Instead of telling you I'm going to do something, let's, excuse me, let's just do it. Let me have a drink of my RC. All right, sorry about that. So, well, that's like I said, that really is a substantial branch. So here's what I do. I've got two cameras set up, by the way. So, boy, I'm tempted to stick that that whole thing down in there. I may just do that. So we're going to set that to the side. This poor guy here looks like, I'm going to pull it out and see what happened. Looks like it was rotting. See, it wasn't getting any roots on it. But it still does have some green. So let's just cut this part that didn't look so healthy. We'll stick this green stem, partially green stem back in and see what happens. I mean, what's it going to hurt? What are you going to lose? If it's dead, it's dead. If it's not, it'll come back. Okay, let's get that trimmed off. And here's another one on it. This is probably the very worst one that I picked to show you to do first. This, well, it's got a little something, something. I don't give up until I give up. So let's cut that off. I'm going to leave this little sprout here. And we're going to go from this side. Cut that rotten piece off. That's going to go back in. What else we got here? What do you think? Think that's all I can get out of this? I don't. I think I'm going to cut. See, if you leave this right here on this V, if you can see that, well, there's this little V here. If I cut this side of it off, it'll shoot another sprout off of here, and then I can use this node to start another. I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about. I hope so. But see, it's got little aerial roots right there. So those are going to go in the dirt. Okay, what else we got? See, we can We can make this a much more substantial plant by doing this stuff. Now this one I can't really, I mean I could cut this one off. Here, let's turn it that way. I could cut this one off here, and cut all this stem off and stick this part in the soil, but I'm afraid this might rot just because of the leaves on it. So I'm going to leave that alone and let these grow in around it. So let's move this over here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I got a little skewer. I like using these for this type of work. See, this has got a little something on it. You may stick it in there. Anyways, let's, like I said, this was the very worst one to start with. So hopefully you hang on. You guys, I'm going to ask you if you have pothos. I'm not going to just assume it, but I know they're very popular, and they have every right to be so popular because they're wonderful plants. Now see, I could start this one probably from either end. You see that? And it looks like it grows up this way. So I'm going to put this end in. So you hear a train in the background probably. I live pretty close to a train track. All right, so we got that one in there. This guy, I think, it's kind of interesting. I think we're going to cut, indecision, cut this part off, take this leaf off here, and then stick this whole thing down in the soil. And if you guys, for those of you that have subscribed, I will post updates on this like I did with the Hawaiian tea plant that I worked on a month ago. So if you haven't subscribed, if you would like to see what happens with these, I hope you consider it at the end or even now to hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that has already subscribed. I appreciate everybody that's just stopped by to see what's going on. All right, I don't know about this one. Don't think there's no leaves on it, but there's some life. But I think we're just gonna let that one go. All right, easy enough. One down, and what, 2, 4, 5 more to go. See again, kind of sparse looking. I mean, some people actually kind of like that real long trailing look. I like the trailing look, but I like a very solid condensed base. And then let it, and I will keep it cut so it stays pretty full. Like I said, the mother plant is inside the house. It is probably going to stay there through next summer. I took it out and set it on my porch, and it grew probably 8 feet. And that's what these trimmings are all from. I didn't have anything left inside the house. I had it out on the patio. I took all my plants out on the patio, and then it was pretty bare inside. So that one seems to be very happy in there. I think I'm going to leave it. Put these all on the outside and let them go wild because they just simply love it here. And I live in northeast Arkansas. It's very humid, pretty darn warm during the summer. And my patio's on the north side of the house, and it just loved it out there. A lot of my house plants loved it out there. So a lot of them will go back, not all of them. I can't trim much off of this guy. I really didn't do a very good job the first time around at propagating these. I'll be honest about it. Okay, I'm going to cut this one like this. I'm going to take that leaf and leave that kind of a stem. And again, it's going to just go back in the pot. Let me leave it off for the moment and see what else I can do. I think this one I'm going to cut here. I don't know if that was a smart place to cut that one, but I'm going to trim it here and leave this little T shape. I always consider it like a T. And we'll stick that all down in the ground there. What else do we have? That one doesn't seem real solid. These have actually got a little healthier since I put them inside and set them on the windowsill. Like I said, most everything's done pretty good in the garage. But it was established. These new cuttings, and it's probably 80% artificial light in here. So I'm getting morning sun right in my eyeballs right now. You can probably see it. And I apologize for that if it looks weird, but these new propagations really needed better lighting, in my opinion. I mean, they're not awful by any means, but I'm going to put them on my north-facing window in my living room. It gets very little. This one needs a little potting soil around it. Direct sunlight in the very late afternoon. But other than that, it's just pretty indirect light. This one still doesn't look so hot. Well, like I said, it was just bad. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut this off there. And we're gonna cut this off here. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking when I did these to begin with. Like I said, I didn't do a very good job at making a selection of where to cut and plant these. So I don't know what I was doing that day. But anyways, see if we can get this piece down in there now. Get it covered up. When it comes to potting soil, I'm a pretty heavy waterer. Now, Pothos, they're pretty tolerant of, I mean, they don't like to be drowned by any means, but they could probably tolerate more water than a lot of plants. So my potting mix, I use, well, it's orchid bark, but I'm getting ready to start chipping my own bark. But anyways, so I'll normally use about a 50-50 mix of bark and potting soil with most of my plants. Like I said, the Pothos, in my opinion, could stand to be a little bit wetter. Again, they don't like to be drowned. So I probably am not using as much bark in it as I would with the rest of my plants. If that ramble made any sense. See, again, this one is looking kind of shoddy. So we're going to just get them all dressed up. You know, I really like Pothos. I've had houseplants since the late 70s, early 80s. Pothos, I mean, those were around. Even I remember when I was a kid, people having those. So they've been around for a very, very long time. I mean, when I say around, yeah, they've been around for goodness knows how long, but I mean as a house plant. They've been a very common house plant for many, many years. And of course, the reason why is they're pretty forgiving, pretty easy to grow. All right, so let's cut this off. Take that little branch, leave, put that in there. Yeah, I like them. You know, plants should be, well, for me, I look at it as something I want to not stress over and just kind of enjoy. Now, I do like the variety of plants that are out there right now, but some of them I've tried a couple of times and I just kill them. So I've give up on them because I don't want to waste the money, quite honestly. And two, is I don't want to stress about it, you know? Like I said, this poor thing here is one. I cannot grow these begonias. I can't. This is like the third one I've had in a year. And it's pretty wet. Maybe that's why. I don't know. It's just one of those things that's the last and final one. Yeah, right. I'll probably run across one again someday and go through the same old thing. Anyways, I'm going to finish this up. And like I said, just get these watered in. Get them on my front window. Let them take off. Come spring, they'll be outside. And you guys, if you, like I said, if you choose to subscribe to the channel, if you haven't, keep up to date on it. And you'll see most everything that I put out outside just goes crazy here. And I can't wait. It's not far off now, so. All right, folks. Thank you again for coming by. Appreciate you. And remember, do what makes you happy and be kind. See you later.